All right, guys, so Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, one of the top 20 American banks. So is it time to panic? First, understand that this is not a crypto story as it's being reported. This is an interest rate story. On the surface, SVP collapsed because of its exposure to crypto. But in reality, it collapsed because of its exposure to interest rate risk. And what is concerning about this is that interest rate risk is not something that only Silicon Valley Bank is exposed to. All banks are exposed to interest rate risk, and in fact, their entire business model is built on lending and borrowing, receiving interest and paying interest. So first, let's understand exactly what is meant by interest rate risk. Interest rates can hurt you in two ways. First, they can make assets a lot less valuable. Crypto is on the top of the assets that can become less valuable when interest rates go higher because crypto is a very risky asset. And when interest rates go higher, a lot of the money is sucked out of the system and there's less money available to speculate on risky stuff like crypto. But it's not just crypto that loses tremendous value when interest rates go up. Bonds also lose a lot of value when interest rates go up. So while other banks may not be as exposed to crypto as Silicon Valley Bank was, they are certainly exposed to interest rate risk through the bonds that they hold on their books. The second way in which interest rates can harm is through making certain obligations more expensive to meet. Very simply, if you have variable rate debt, the higher the interest rate goes, the higher your payments are going to go. So rising interest rates lower the value of assets and at the same time make the obligations of the indebted higher. A double whammy if there ever was one. And as I mentioned, all banks have this exposure to interest rate risk. SVB was the first major bank to break because of the Fed's raising of interest rates, but I suspect it won't be the last. If the Fed keeps raising rates and keeps them elevated for long enough, more failures and breaks are bound to happen. For you, if you have money in a US bank, make sure that it's FDIC insured. Most banks are, but just make sure that your bank is. And also keep in mind that FDIC will insure deposits up to $250,000 per depositor per bank. What this means is that if you have $300,000 in a bank and that bank fails, you could stand to lose $50,000 because FDIC will only insure $250,000 of that. One solution to this is to spread your money out amongst many banks because remember, the FDIC insurance limit is per depositor per bank. So if you spread your money out, you should be insured up to $250,000 per bank that you have deposits in. So while I'm not suggesting to panic, what I am suggesting is to expect more failures to come, more breaks in the system to happen, and to plan accordingly.